Stoicism Breath presents Your First Hour Wins the Day. Imagine opening your eyes tomorrow and actually feeling clear, steady, and in charge. Not just awake, but awake to your life, like the day ahead isn't another blur to survive, but a real chance to grow. Quick gut check. How often do you honestly feel that way? If you're like most of us, mornings can feel like wading through wet cement. The bed is warm, the snooze button is a smooth talker, and your brain whispers, 5 more minutes won't hurt. Meanwhile, old habits some you outgrew years ago still run the show. Here's the shift that changes everything. How you start your morning doesn't just shape the first hour, it shapes the entire tone of your day, and over time, your life. The ancient Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." That's not poetry for a poster, it's a morning operating system. Today on Stoicism Breath, we'll turn that wisdom into something you can do, practical habits that help you master your mind and steer your day on purpose. If content like this helps you reclaim your mornings and your peace, hit subscribe. It's free, it supports the channel, and it helps this message reach people who need it. Maybe a friend who's been stuck in the same loop for years. Why this hour works, and the science that helps a few simple human facts work in your favor. Your brain is changing gears. In the first 30-45 minutes after waking, your body experiences a natural alertness rise. Use it deliberately, and you stabilize mood and focus faster. Fewer inputs, shorter and cleaner thinking. Before the world floods your attention, your mental signal-to-noise ratio is high. That's why ideas feel clearer, and planning actually sticks. Small wins compound. Finishing one intentional action early gives you momentum. Your brain learns I keep promises to myself. No lab coat required, just consistent reps. What to do with the first hour, a Stoic mini ritual. Think of this as a menu. Pick 3, keep it simple, and repeat daily. Sit and breathe 2 minutes. Inhale through the nose for 4. Exhale through the mouth for 6. Let your shoulders drop. This tells your nervous system, we're safe, we can think. Read something sturdy, hum 5 from 10 minutes. A page from Meditations. A paragraph from a book that elevates, not agitates. You're choosing the thoughts that will color your day. Clarify your aim, 3 lines. On paper. If today is a win, it's because I and Schkarkschbloan. 3 real, doable actions, no more. Preview the day, 2 minutes. Visualize one tricky moment, a meeting, a hard conversation, and rehearse a calm response. Stoics called this mental practice premeditatio. It's not anxiety, it's preparation. Move your body 5.10 minutes. Gentle stretches, a short walk, a handful of squats, just enough to wake your system and lift your mood. Protect the quiet. Save email and social feeds for later. The early hour is for designing your day, not reacting to someone else's. None of this is flashy. All of it is repeatable. And repeatable is how you change. Common traps and how to step around them. I'll just wing it. Don't. Lay out your book and notebook the night before. Decide your 3 habits in advance. Make it easy to win. All or nothing thinking. If you miss a day, you didn't fail. You're human. Reset tonight. Protect tomorrow's first hour. Sneaky phone grabs. Put your phone in another room or on airplane mode. Your first hour isn't for other people's priorities. Remember Seneca's line about imagination versus reality. Imagine your resistance as a fog. The moment you take one small action, sit up and put your feet on the floor, the fog thins. A 7-day challenge from Stoicism Breath. For the next week, wake 15 to 60 minutes earlier than usual, your choice. Do 3 small things from the mini ritual, no more, no less. Track it with checkboxes. Watch how your days feel, not just what you do. Then tell me in the comments what changed. Not perfection presence, that's the path. If this episode sparks something in you, subscribe to Stoicism Breath and share it with someone who wants their mornings back. We don't chase hype here. We practice what holds breath by breath, choice by choice. Let's seal it with a 1-line intention. Say it softly out loud. I own my first hour. My first hour shapes my day. See you in the next video. Until then, wake with gratitude, begin with intention, and when the world starts pulling, return to your center. Stoicism Breath, the first hour that wakes your life. Let's be honest. The first week you try to change your mornings will feel awkward.
Your body will bargain, your pillow will negotiate, and every cell will chant 5 more minutes. That's normal. Growth never starts in comfort, it starts right at the edge of it. Here's the invitation from Stoicism Breath. Give yourself one extra quiet hour in the morning, not to grind harder, but to wake up inwardly. Psychologist Carl Jung put it simply: who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Those early undisturbed minutes are where your deeper self gets a voice. And that's when insight bubbles up, problems begin to untangle, and clarity finally clicks. So picture tomorrow, your alarm goes off, your feet hit the floor, and you choose to step into that extra hour. What happens next is where most of us go on autopilot. Habit number 1: water before the world and before coffee. Be real, what's the first thing you usually reach for? For most of us, it's the coffee maker. We chase that comforting jolt to feel human again. Coffee isn't the villain. We love a good cup around here, but there's a health truth that's easy to miss when we're groggy. You wake up dehydrated. During sleep, your body goes hours without fluids. Your brain, about 3/4 water, runs best when it's properly hydrated. Even mild dehydration can ding your focus, memory, and mood. That morning fog you blame on not enough coffee is often just low water. The Stoic move: drink a tall glass of water before anything else. Think of it as hitting the reset button on your system. It's simple, repeatable, and it tells your mind and body, today I choose clarity first. Epictetus reminded us, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. Water first is that kind of daily work, small, unglamorous, but powerful. It shifts your morning from impulse to intention. Try this tomorrow. Place a full glass or bottle by the sink tonight. On waking, drink 12-16 Oz before you do anything else.
Breathe. Pause for a minute, then decide if you still want coffee. You probably will, and that's fine, but now it's a choice, not a reflex. Bonus benefit: when you start with water, you often feel calmer and steadier. That takes the edge off the caffeine, so coffee feels like a tool, not a crutch. Habit number 2: turn a reflex into a decision. Jung also said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Most mornings run on unconscious loops: stumble to the machine, scroll through a screen, react to whatever pops up. Your new practice is a 3-step micro pause that takes less than a minute. 1. Notice the urgent coffee inbox notifications. 2. Name your intention. I'm choosing clarity first. 3. Act on the smallest wise step. Water 1 deep breath. 1 page of something meaningful. This is how you reclaim your mornings without willpower theatrics. You're not fighting yourself, you're guiding yourself. Habit number 3: guard the gates, delay your phone. Your morning is sacred ground, a blank canvas, a quiet field. Yet most of us hand it over to notifications before we've even said good morning to our own nervous system. 1 second you're calm, the next you're tangled in emails, breaking news, and someone's vacation highlight reel. Stoicism is blunt on this: protect your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your phone is a pipeline for outside events. If you open it first, you start the day reacting instead of directing. A gentle rule that changes everything. Delay your phone for 30 minutes after waking. No inbox, no social, no news. Use that protected window for water breath, a page of something sturdy, and one clear intention for the day. Ask yourself, why would I give the best, quietest minutes of my mind to algorithms? Save that precious clarity for you. But I'm busy. Good, then this matters more. If your days feel slammed, your mornings are not a luxury, they are maintenance. Think of a pilot pre-flight checklist, small, quick checks that prevent big problems later. Water breath 1 page, 1 intention. These are your mental safety checks. And if your season is demanding shift work, parenting, caregiving, adapt the principle, it's not early that matters. It's first. Give your first quiet slice to yourself, even if it's 7 minutes. Protect it like it's medicine because it is. A 5-day micro challenge from Stoicism Breath. Day 1 2, water first, phone later. That's the whole job. Day 3, add the 2-minute breath. Day 4, add 1 page of sturdy reading. Day 5, add 1 written intention. Notice what changes mood steadier. Fewer knee-jerk reactions. Clearer priorities by lunchtime. That's your nervous system thanking you. If this spoke to you, keep walking with us here at Stoicism Breath. We don't chase perfect mornings, we practice strong ones. Quiet, simple, repeatable. Before you go, try saying this softly out loud. If you can, I choose clarity first. I lead my morning. My morning leads my day. Stoicism, breath guard the gates. Set the tone. Be honest. What's the very first thing your hand reaches for in the morning? If it's your phone, you're not alone. But here's the problem. Your phone is a gate, and the moment you open it, the world rushes in. Emails, opinions, arguments, ads. Countless outside events stampede straight into the quiet part of your mind that hasn't even had a chance to wake up. The Stoic move. Delay the scroll for 30 minutes, not forever, not dramatic. Just 30 quiet, protected minutes where you choose your first thoughts instead of letting algorithms choose them for you. It's a small boundary with a massive payoff. You start the day responding instead of reacting. Psychology backs this up in simple ways. First thing inputs prime your nervous system. Chaotic input, chaotic state. Intentional input, intentional state. Remember Jung's reminder, we're shaped less by what happens to us than by what we choose next. Each morning you face a fork in the road, pressure and distraction, or intention and self-awareness. Which path are you training? Try this tomorrow. Airplane mode stays on until your first 30 minutes are done. Put the phone in another room or face down across the kitchen. Set an old-fashioned alarm if you need to. No excuses, just a cleaner start. Now what do you do with that protected half hour? 3 simple things. 2. Make your bed the first promise you keep. There's something oddly powerful about one small act of order. Not a big breakthrough, just a simple, finishable task. You pull the covers tight, fluff the pillows, smooth the sheets, and boom. The day has already seen a complete cycle of start, do, finish.
That's not homemaking, that's mental training. We live in a world that glorifies massive transformations and forgets that character is formed in micro habits. The Stoics never forgot. They valued cleanliness, order, focus, not for appearances, but for the discipline it trains. A tidy space isn't just visual, it's psychological alignment. Clutter pulls attention and raises inner noise. Order quiets the mind, making room for deliberate thought. Think of making your bed as your first quiet declaration: I'm in control today. I don't wait for motivation, I build momentum. Admiral William McRaven said it bluntly. If you want to change the world, start by making your bed. Not because linens are life-changing, because tone is. If you do the small thing every day, what else might you be capable of? Practical tip, 90-second rule. If it takes less than 90 seconds, do it now. Bed made, cup rinsed, desk cleared. These tiny completions compound into calm.
3. Shape the room, shape the mind. Jung believed our environment mirrors our inner world. If your space is loud, scattered, and unfinished, your thoughts often follow. Tidy your environment, and almost mysteriously, your thinking becomes cleaner, your decisions simpler, your mood steadier. This is how the Stoics lived, not with perfection, but with purpose. They began each day by asserting control over time, space, and mindset. Making your bed is the smallest expression of that philosophy. I will not be ruled by disorder. I will not let my environment dictate my state. I choose discipline, especially in the small things. Ask yourself, what's one item I can remove from my morning space that always distracts me? What's one small layout change that would make my first 30 minutes calmer? A book and pen on the nightstand, water by the sink phone, charging outside the bedroom. One touch habit. When you pick something up, either use it or put it away once.
Every extra I'll deal with it later is a tax on your attention. If you practice these questions for 1 week, watch what shifts: fewer knee-jerk reactions, steadier mood by lunch, and a subtle confidence that comes from keeping small promises. That's Stoic living in modern life, quiet, clear, unbothered. Stoicism. Breath exists to help you build mornings that build you. Delay the scroll, make the bed. Choose your first thoughts on purpose, then watch how the rest of your day falls into line. Stoicism, breath, wake the body, steady the mind, soft morning light, ambient city noise, camera on a bedside table, a glass of water, a notepad, a phone face down, narrator calm, steady. Ever notice how your mind can open its eyes before your body does? You're awake, technically, but your energy is still on airplane mode. Until your mind and body sync, you're running the day on low power. The Stoic solution isn't punishment, it's movement, not a punishing workout, not a 5 a.m. boot camp.
Just gentle, deliberate motion to remind your nervous system, I'm here, I'm ready, let's go. So tomorrow morning, before the excuses arrive, try this sequence. Move first, breathe, steady, finish, cold. Let your body tell your mind, we've already begun. Beat. Camera returns to the quiet bedroom. The phone is still face down. Narrator warm. You don't need to conquer the day before sunrise. You just need to own the first 5 minutes. That's where momentum starts. Anxiety loosens and your inner compass clicks into place. This is Stoicism Breath, where we practice calm, not perform it. If this helped, save it, share it, or start it tomorrow. And when your brain whispers, not today, smile a little. Today already started. Stoicism Breath choose. Discomfort. Claim your day. SFX bathroom fan humming softly. Camera on a hand hesitating over the shower handle. Narrator warm, steady. There's a split second every morning when your brain whispers, not today.
It happens right before you step into the cold. Your chest tightens. Your mind reaches for any excuse. And yet this is the moment that builds you. The Stoics were obsessed with voluntary discomfort, not because they loved suffering, but because they understood a hard truth: most of us forget comfort breeds fragility. Marcus Aurelius put it plainly. It's not death we should fear, but never beginning to live. In a world built on avoiding discomfort, choosing a cold shower is a radical way to start living on purpose. The cold start: how Stoics train the nervous system. Cold water snaps you into the present. The first shock cuts through mental fog and forces your breath to lead your body instead of panic leading your mind. That's neuroplasticity in action. Your brain practicing a new pathway. Discomfort arrives. I stay, I breathe, I steady. Think about what you usually avoid: fear of failing, fear of criticism, fear of uncertainty. That resistance you feel toward the water is a symbol of all of it. Face the water and you begin training yourself to face the rest without flinching, without spiraling, without losing your center. Seneca trained for adversity on purpose. Fasting rough clothing, difficult tasks, not for theatrics but for inner strength. A cold finish is the modern version resistance training for your nervous system. You step in, you breathe through the shock, and you leave with proof that you can do hard things calmly. Proof that follows you to work, to conflict, to traffic, to tough conversations. Physiologically, cold exposure can increase blood flow, release endorphins, and heighten alertness. Translation: you don't need a second cup of coffee. You need courage, guided by breath. That icy rush clears cobwebs and drops you straight into the moment alert, energized present. Start, small win, early, safety. First. Warm first, cold. Last. Finish your normal warm shower with 30 seconds cold.
Breathe low and slow. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, exhale for 6. Keep shoulders down, jaw unclenched. Eyes steady. Pick a point on the tile. Let your gaze anchor your mind. Progress gradually. 30s, 45s, 60s over a week. Consistency beats heroics. Medical note: if you're pregnant, have cardiovascular issues or health concerns, skip cold exposure or talk to a clinician first. A gentler option: finish warm, then 10 seconds cool or splash cold water on your face. The goal is response, not extremes. Why this matters: virtue in Stoicism isn't theory, it's practice. You're not reading about calm, you're rehearsing it somatically. The lesson is simple and deep. I can feel intensity without becoming it. Let's be honest, most of us wake up with a head full of static, half-finished thoughts, yesterday's worries, today's to-dos, all shouting at once. If your brain feels like a messy junk drawer, you're not broken. You're human. And there's a simple, ancient way to clear the clutter before the world even asks you for a single thing: put ink on paper. Journaling isn't some artsy trend, it's mental hygiene. 3 to 5 minutes with a pen can give you more clarity than an hour of anxious overthinking. No rules, no grammar police, just write what's real. The thought that won't leave the worry that keeps looping the dream. You can't shake the tiny thank you that flickered in your chest. Empty the drawer before your day fills it up again. The Stoics did this long before smartphones. Marcus Aurelius. Yes, the emperor kept private notes we now call meditations. They weren't written to impress anyone. They were written to sharpen his principles and keep his ego in check. One of his most famous lines, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way likely surfaced, because he was processing on the page, not just in his head." That's the power of ink, it turns fog into form.
Modern psychology echoes this. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." When you write, you're giving your inner world a voice. Patterns start to appear, repeating frustrations, buried fears, old stories you've been living by without noticing. On your worst days, your journal is a safe room. You can be angry, anxious, lost, and the page still holds you. On your best days, it becomes a vault of insights you'd forget if they weren't captured in your own words. A 5-minute Stoic journaling flow, zero fluff, all function. Grab a pen, set a timer, sit where the light is kind. 1. Dump 90 seconds. Write what's buzzing unfiltered. I'm worried about the 10 a.m. call. I slept badly. I'm grateful for coffee. Whatever is true goes down. 2. Direct 90 seconds. One sentence that sets your posture for the day. Today, I will be calm in the 10 a.m. meeting and ask 2 clarifying questions before I give an opinion.
3. Decide 90 seconds. Choose 3 concrete actions you will complete today. Not 10. 3. Make them visible progress, not busy work. Send the proposal draft. 20-minute walk at lunch. Call mom. 4. Sentence of strength. 30 seconds. Close with a line you'll carry. I control my response. Clarity over chaos. Do the next right thing calmly. That's it. 5 minutes. Your mind feels lighter, your direction clearer, your energy aimed. Try it right now. What's one line you could carry with you today that would change how you show up? Keep each target small enough to finish in a single sitting. Completion beats perfection. 10 half-started tasks build frustration. One finished task builds confidence, and confidence creates momentum. Pro tip: if a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it takes more than 25 minutes, time box it. Protect your focus like it's gold, because it is. And remember Seneca's rhythm of self-examination. He reviewed his day at night. You're doing his practice in the morning to set your aim before the world sets it for you. Carl Jung called the process of becoming a whole directed person individuation. He reminded us, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakes? Goals aren't only for achievement, they're for self-realization. Every morning when you define your goals with honesty, you're not just planning a day, you're quietly shaping a self. Here's the surprising truth: smaller is better. Big goals make big promises. Small goals build real momentum. Reply to that one email I've been avoiding. Write one page. Walk for 20 minutes. One finished task builds confidence. 10 half-started ones build frustration. Completion is the fuel, not complexity. Try this before your first meeting. Write 3 specific doable outcomes for today. If you finish only those 3, the day still counts. Part 2. Protect the launch. Your mind is fragile in the morning. Most people don't realize how tender their mental state is right after waking. Your brain is scanning for a target within seconds. What matters? Or where should I point my attention? If you hand it outrage headlines and hot takes, it will run on stress chemistry before breakfast. That's the cortisol spike you feel when you scroll, not just catching up. You think you're getting informed, you're actually getting primed to react. The Stoic countermove is simple. Choose the first thoughts of your day, don't inherit them. Seneca advised associate with people who are likely to improve you. In 2025, that also means associate with content that improves you. The no scroll 30 rule. For the first 30 minutes after you wake, keep your phone in another room or face down on a charger. Then trade the scroll for substance. Read 5 to 10 pages of a book that elevates your thinking.
Listen to a short philosophy or health podcast that steadies your mood. Sit in silence for 2 minutes and breathe. Yes, literally set a timer. Think of these as your morning mentors. 10 pages of something that grounds you will do more for your day than an hour of passive scrolling ever could. Jung's reminder lands here too. You are what you do not, what you say you'll do. Reading deliberately is doing. It's action, not wishful thinking. Part 3. A simple morning system that actually sticks. Let's turn philosophy into practice you can repeat, no perfection required. 1. The 2-minute dump mental rinse before the world gets a vote right for 2 minutes. Anything. I'm anxious about the 10 a.m. I slept weird. Grateful for quiet. Empty the static so you can think. 2. The 3 targets clarity list. 3 outcomes. Tiny concrete finishable today. Put a box next to each. You'll check them off later, and yes, that little checkmark gives your brain a clean hit of momentum. 3. The first thought compass. Choose one sentence to carry. Clarity over chaos. Ask before assuming. Do the next right thing calmly. 4. The no scroll. 30 guardrails. Phone stays away. Feed your mind substance pages, not posts. That's it. 10 minutes total. It's not flashy, but it's repeatable, and repeatable wins. Part 4. Stories from real life you'll see yourself here. Picture Sarah, high performer, chronic overcommitter. Her mornings used to start with email in bed, then a sprint toward everything and nothing. She tried the plan 2-minute dump 3 targets, no scroll 30. Day 1, she finished the proposal that had haunted her for a week. Day 3, she took a 20-minute walk at lunch. Day 7, she noticed she was calmer in meetings because she'd already chosen her first thoughts. Same job, same family, same pressures, different direction. Or Mike, who swore he didn't have time to read. He put a book next to the coffee machine and read 5 pages while the kettle boiled. 5 pages a day became a book a month. His language got cleaner, his decisions got firmer. That's what happens when you choose the inputs that shape your inner voice. Part 5. Common traps and Stoic counters. Trap: I set 10 goals and finished none. Stoic counter reduced to 3. If one is big, make it the only big one. Trap: I checked my phone just for a minute, then lost 25. Stoic counter: put the phone out of reach. Use a $10 kitchen timer or a smart speaker for alarms. Trap: I read, but it didn't do anything. Stoic counter: after you read, write 1 line. Because of this, will then apply it once before noon. Trap: I'm busy all day and still feel behind. Stoic counter: schedule your 3 targets in your calendar like meetings with yourself. Protect them.
Part 6. Why this works without the jargon. Completion calms the nervous system. Finishing small tasks reduces mental load and frees attention. Intentional input sets your emotional baseline. First thoughts have an outsized impact on the rest of the day. Identity follows action. The moment you define and do, you become the sort of person who finishes. Marcus Aurelius would approve of this rhythm. It's quiet, deliberate, and anchored in what you can control: your aims, your attention, and your actions. Some folks stumble into their morning half asleep, already reacting. Others, those calm, centered people you admire, pause and see the day first, not on a screen, in the theater of the mind. Visualization isn't woo-woo. It's widely used by elite performers because it's biology, not magic. When you mentally rehearse, your brain starts laying down the pathways you'll use later. You prime yourself to notice opportunities and ignore distractions. Done consistently, it nudges your actions to align with your goals instead of your fears. The Stoics understood this long before neuroscience. They practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining what might go wrong not to panic, but to prepare. They also pictured the person they aimed to be steady, honest, courageous in small things first, then greater ones as Epictetus urged. Olympic champions, Michael Phelps, famously among them, used daily visualization down to tiny movements, so that when the real moment came, the body already knew the script the mind had rehearsed. A story you might recognize. A nurse I spoke with started this ritual on days she worked 12-hour shifts. She'd sit in her parked car for 5 minutes and run the rehearsal. Steady, breath one sentence, I bring calm to chaos, then seeing herself respond to a difficult family member with empathy instead of defensiveness. Same hospital, same stress. But after 2 weeks, co-workers kept asking, why are you so unshakable lately? She wasn't. She was prepared. You don't have to control the whole day. Just own the first 5 minutes. Tune your instrument. See the day before you play it. Prepare for the bumps. Then walk in with that quiet line in your chest. I respond. I don't react. If this resonates, you're in the right place. This is Stoicism Breath. Simple, science-informed, Stoic-rooted rituals to help you lead yourself then your day. Stay steady, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next video. Stoicism Breath. See it first, then live. It narrator, calm, inviting, before your next meeting, before that hard conversation, before you take another swing at a goal that keeps slipping, give yourself 5 quiet minutes. Not to hype yourself up, but to rehearse. This isn't just for athletes on a podium. It's for any of us who want to walk into the day already anchored. Marcus Aurelius used his mornings to practice self-mastery.
He wrote to himself about how he intended to act, so when pressure arrived, he wasn't surprised by his own reactions. If that level of preparation worked for the most powerful man in Rome, it can absolutely work for you and me. Now, a second practice that changes the entire texture of your morning. We live in a culture that trains our attention on what's missing. More status, more recognition, more. Your brain even has a built-in negativity bias. It's wired to spot threats before blessings. If you don't steer that bias, it will steer you toward anxiety, scarcity, and constant comparison. Gratitude is not soft or naive. It's a discipline, a daily way to anchor in what's real, not just what's wrong. Seneca called a grateful heart one of the most honorable qualities. He saw gratitude as armor, not decoration. From a psychology lens, gratitude reconnects you to what still works: your health, your relationships, your capacity to try again, so your stress response can settle. On a physiological level, consistent gratitude practice is linked with increased dopamine and serotonin mood and focus and lower cortisol stress. In plain English, you get steadier and clearer. A 2-minute drill. Name 3 things you're genuinely grateful for right now. Keep it simple and specific. Hot water. My friend who checked on me, another chance to do better today. For one of them, add a sentence of why it matters. That why turns a checklist into an emotional anchor. What this changes. You can't be fully angry and fully grateful at the same time. Anger narrows your view to one problem. Gratitude widens the frame. The problem still exists, but it's no longer your whole world. When the frame widens, wiser choices appear. Most people wake up and sprint straight into the day, emails, headlines, the weight of a to-do list that never learn to say enough. But what if the smartest way to move faster is to slow down first? Not with another task, with a thought. Gratitude isn't just feel-good fluff. It's biology. It teaches your brain what to look for. When you practice it, your attention tilts toward what's working instead of scanning endlessly for what's wrong. Stress softens, focus sharpens, and from that steadier place, better choices appear. Marcus Aurelius knew this. In the middle of real pressure governing an empire, navigating illness, betrayal, he still took a moment each morning to count what was good, useful, and true. He urged himself, do not dream of what you lack. Count the blessings you possess. That mindset didn't make him soft, it made him steady. Today, let's borrow that approach.
2 simple moves, a gratitude reset, and a Stoic sentence, one line you carry like a compass through whatever the day throws at you. That's it. 3 minutes, no app, No perfect routine, just a better starting line. Terse email lands, pause, breathe once, whisper your sentence. Ask what's the helpful move. Maybe it's a clarifying question, not a defensive paragraph. Unexpected delay, pause, gratitude check. I've got 10 minutes back, use it to prepare, stretch, or step outside for sunlight. You didn't lose time, you were given a reset. Criticism you didn't expect. Pause, I respond, I don't react. Look for one useful thread. If there isn't one, you still kept your self-respect. Each pause is you putting on emotional armor before the battle, not after the wound. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's prep work. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Choose the color before the world splashes paint on you. A quick story. A viewer named Dana manages a team in healthcare. She used to start her day already bracing for problems. She tried this one line, be the calm in the room. She wrote it on her lock screen and said it out loud in the car. 2 weeks later, she told me, the problems didn't change. I did. My tone changed the room. Same pressures, new pilot, make it practical. Put your sentence on a sticky note by the coffee maker. Set it as your phone wallpaper. Carry it into one conversation on purpose before noon. The more often you do this, the more you'll feel what Jung meant by your visions become clear when you look into your own heart. You're not outsourcing your mood to chance, you're installing a response pattern. A sharp email lands. Pause. Breathe once. Whisper your line. Ask what's the most helpful next sentence. Often it's a clarifying question, not a defense. Plans change again. Step outside for 2 minutes if you can. Look at the farthest point you can see. Let your eyes soften. Say your line. Return steadier. You feel yourself spiraling. Put your hand on your chest. One slow exhale. Ask what's in my control right now. Do that and only that. Each pause is you putting on emotional armor before you step back into the arena. Thanks for spending this morning with Stoicism Breath. If this helped you find your center, share it with someone who could use a calmer start. And if you want more simple, grounded Stoic practices, subscribe. One line inward, one step outside, meet the day on purpose. So much of our restlessness today doesn't come from working too hard, it comes from being deeply disconnected from the natural world. Carl Jung once said that natural life is the nourishing soil of the soul. When we lose contact with that soil, both literally and metaphorically, we start to feel anxious, ungrounded, and scattered. And maybe you've noticed this yourself. A simple 10-minute walk in the woods can calm you more than hours of overthinking ever could. The good news. You don't need a weekend retreat in the mountains to feel this. Start small. Step outside for just 5 minutes in the morning. Breathe in the cold air or soak in the warmth of the sun. Notice the sky, the trees, the stillness that's always been there waiting for you. This isn't another task to check off your list. It's about remembering that beyond the curated chaos of your schedule, nature is quietly offering you something perspective, healing, and peace. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, nature loves to hide. But the truth is it's not hiding from you, it's always right there. The more time you spend in it, the less reactive you become. Life stops feeling so urgent. You start feeling human again.
And here's something we often forget: if your mornings feel foggy, slow, or scattered, it's not always about coffee or motivation. It's because your brain, the most powerful machine you own, is running on fumes. We talk a lot about mindset, productivity, and discipline, but your brain isn't fueled by thoughts alone. It's a physical organ. It runs on real nourishment. Yet so often breakfast gets sacrificed in the name of speed. You're running late, so you skip it, or you grab something sugary, processed, quick and empty. Sure, that might give you a jolt of energy, but then comes the crash, the fog, the irritability, and your day starts unraveling. Not because you're weak, not because you lack discipline, but because your body was never given what it needed to show up fully. The Stoics would call that self-negligence. Epictetus reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. That mastery isn't just about thoughts or words, it's about how we treat our physical form. Starting your day with real food is more than nutrition, it's self-respect in action. So let's make it practical. Your brain needs protein to stabilize blood sugar. It needs healthy fats to support focus and hormone balance. and it thrives on foods that digest slowly, giving you steady energy: eggs, avocado, Greek yogurt, oats, nuts. Not pastries, not soda, not energy drinks. When you choose whole, intentional food first thing in the morning, you're sending your body and your mind a message: I came to perform today. Carl Jung understood that the body and psyche are deeply intertwined. He once wrote, "The mind is like the eye, it cannot see itself without reflection." And part of that reflection is how we care for our physical form. What you feed your body becomes the quality of your thoughts, the steadiness of your emotions, and the clarity of your choices. So ask yourself, would you expect a high-performing athlete to train without fuel? Would you trust a surgeon with shaky hands and an empty stomach? Then why do we expect ourselves to think clearly, create deeply, or lead effectively on an empty tank? The way you start your morning is the way you set the tone for your entire life. Nourish your body, ground your mind, and you'll find clarity waiting for you on the other side. Some mornings the hardest part isn't getting out of bed. It's facing the voice inside your own head. You know, the one, that quiet but persistent inner critic that whispers doubts before your feet even touch the floor. It replays yesterday's mistakes, questions your worth, and casts a shadow over your confidence before you've even had a chance to begin. And if you don't challenge that voice, it sets the emotional tone for your entire day. That's why affirmations aren't just feel-good phrases or cheesy slogans.
When done with intention, they're strategic counterattacks. They're like verbal armor, rewriting the script that's been running on autopilot for years. You're not just speaking words, you're choosing thoughts that align with who you want to become, not who your fears say you are. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, understood this deeply. He began his days not with proclamations to the world, but with inner declarations to himself. In Meditations, he reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Whatever thoughts you repeat, whatever words you focus on, they shape your perception, your behavior, and eventually your identity. That's all an affirmation really is, a tool for consciously coloring your mind. It only takes a few seconds, but the ripple effects last all day. Saying something like, I control how I respond, or today I choose clarity over chaos, might feel strange at first. But remember, your brain is always listening, even when it's you speaking to yourself. Carl Jung once wrote, words are animals, alive with a will of their own. He understood the psychological power of language. When you speak words of grounding, of direction, of strength, you're not just making noise, you're planting seeds in the soil of your mind. And sound matters. When your own voice speaks confidence, resolve, or peace out loud, it becomes harder for doubt to interrupt. Even if your voice shakes, even if it feels awkward, say it anyway. You're not speaking for who you are right now, you're speaking for the person you are becoming. Seneca once said, we become brave by doing brave acts. The same is true with confidence. You don't become confident first and then start speaking confidently. You speak confidence, especially when it feels odd, and slowly you become it. Affirmations are one of the simplest ways to practice that daily bravery.
You don't need to control the whole day, you only need to own your morning. Because how you begin is how you live. Every small decision, every quiet moment of intention echoes through the rest of your life. Strength, clarity, peace. These aren't things you stumble upon, they're things you practice. And if this message stirred something inside you, there's another video on the screen right now waiting to take you deeper. Something tells me it's exactly what you need next. Thank you for being part of Stoicism Breath, where we don't chase perfection, we train for presence. Until next time, stay steady, stay grounded, and keep walking the quiet path forward.